Hello, Mr. Javed. Welcome to our show.
Hello, Julie. Thank you for inviting me on this show. I am glad to be here.
It is so great to be able to interact with such an amazing architect like you. Our students would be very happy to learn about site inspection from you. Students are always curious and nervous about site visits since this is never taught in any of the colleges in the world. Students have absolutely no idea as to what is to be done when an engineer or architect is expected to inspect the site. By site, I mean construction site. Sir, I have a couple of questions for you. I am sure this would help all the architecture and engineering students gain practical knowledge about the field of construction. I feel practical knowledge is the heart of construction field.
I would gladly answer any of your questions, Julie. I would like to see our future generations grow in knowledge as well.
Great. So here's my first question. Sir, could you tell us, what exactly is site inspection or site visit?
Well, let me be very specific. I am sure our listeners would like that. On a site inspection, an architect or engineer has to take a complete survey of the site. He has to inspect each and every element that is constructed on site and make sure that the construction is being carried on as per the drawings given by the architect.
All right. So, do you have to regularly monitor the site? Are there other people responsible for regular site monitoring?
Monitoring the site is the work of site engineers. Site engineers have to have a degree in civil engineering in order to qualify for the job.
Okay. Let's move on to my next question. Could you tell us, who appoints the site engineers?
It is the architect who suggests or appoints the site engineer in case of a small-scale project. In case of large-scale project management consultant is hired to do the job.
So, what does project management consultants team comprise of? What is their job on site?
Project management consultants, PMC, comprises of a number of site engineers, project managers, assistants, etc. They all have the knowledge of building construction so that they could supervise the work efficiently.
Okay. I am a little confused. If that is the job of project management consultants, then, what does an architect do? What is his job on site?
Well, let me give you an example of a small project. Say a villa. When I design a villa, which is a project with a single structure, it is easier for me to supervise the work since the contractor is always in touch with me. Now I will tell you what is my job on site. Identifying the mistakes in construction made by the workers. Clarification of any or all doubts that the workers or the contractors might have. Sometimes, the workers end up making terrible mistakes. To correct the mistakes in construction, we generally ask the workers to demolish the particular part and reconstruct it again. But sometimes, it so happens that it becomes very difficult to demolish the incorrectly constructed part because demolishing it could make the venture end in loss. Such cases have to be scrutinized by architects and engineers. A solution for the problem is to be looked for.
Oh, I see. Speaking of mistakes on sites, what are the types of mistakes committed by the workers on the construction site?
Let's begin with foundation. When the design for isolated foundation is given with a sloping pedestal, workers generally make a mistake while making the pedestal of the footing, which is to be strictly avoided. This is where the role of a site engineer comes in. He keeps a watch on all the activities of the workers on site and, of course, the quality of construction. Quality control engineers are also hired for large-scale projects. Say for a housing project where 2,000 villas are to be constructed. There are mistakes done while casting the beams. For example, sometimes the beams casted on site may not be in a proper line. It could be disoriented. Thickness, depth and its concrete quality has to be checked and corrected on time. There are mistakes made while connecting columns and beams. For example, the joint where columns and beams meet have to be taken care of. Poor joints could result in structural instability. There are mistakes made in the elevation of the building. For example, elevation is the toughest part to deal with. You really need highly skilled labor if you want to get your elevation right without any wastage of material as a result of reconstruction.
Wow. That must be a tough job for you. We are aware of the fact that you have your architectural practice in towns and cities both. So, how is the scenario of construction sites in towns? How is it different from cities?
Well, when we are visiting a construction site in a town, it is a very different experience. Since a town is a very small place, everyone out there knows you. The contractors and workers are directly in touch with you. In a way, this is good because a lot of mistakes could be avoided in construction. But the trouble starts when the client starts cribbing about the petty issues. I will give you an example. The clients say, "Sir, please do something. The plumber hasn't come, or the electrician has not turned up, or the carpenter is not working faster, or he is wasting a lot of material." All the above-mentioned trouble is not really common in cities. The contractor takes care of it and the client knows for a fact that he is not supposed to trouble the architect for such petty matters.
Okay. Coming to my last question, who appoints a contractor?
One must always be careful while suggesting or appointing a contractor for a project. This becomes a problem for many architects. Once you suggest someone, it becomes your responsibility that the contractor is not corrupt and works efficiently. The client will keep complaining or might even refuse to pay your fees in case the contractor or the workers you suggested are not efficient enough.
That's great to know. Thank you so much for having answered my questions. I am hoping that it would have helped the students as well as the professionals to take care of the key points mentioned by architect Javed Kachchhi.
It was my pleasure. I am glad to be able to help you. I forgot to mention about our website. It is my company website, www.architectjaved.com. You will find loads of information regarding construction. It consists of a variety of my projects done over the past 25 years.
That's great piece of information. That shall sure be useful. Nice meeting you, sir.
Nice meeting you too.